Hey everyone, Temporal here, and for this session we are reviewing a Plat Diva on my favorite map. I hope you guys are enjoying the content. If so, please do like and subscribe, as that really does help me out quite a bit. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, see what rates look like, all sorts of good stuff. Okay, so Winston went in there, we canceled our boosters so we can't join him. Are we going to join him late? Yeah, we are. Which is right as he's leaving. You don't want to stay here. I get that you want this diva, but your Winston just left. You don't want to stay here. Drop to the right. It's going to be stop. Good. Okay. So really what you'd want to do here, let's take another look. I'm disappointed your diva didn't do it. I'm disappointed your Winston didn't do it. But this is good. Like, yes, you're going to get good damage on the Winston, etc., etc. But really part of why you're diving with your Winston is to protect him. He'll do the nice cleave damage. He'll hurt stuff, etc. This is what you want to stop. This is the one who's doing the damage, not this. Your Winston doesn't. That Winston doesn't hurt your Winston a ton. Like the Sigma, you can't really hurt. I mean, you can hurt him, but that's fine. You're looking to go, hey, I'd like to deny nade, sleep, and I'd like to deny this. And this is an aggressive, powerful angle. It would be good for you to deny this, and if you made him leave, it would be very powerful to control this. So instead of you boostering up to here, I actually want you to booster up to here to block out the scary thing, to try to boop away the soldier, to be in the soldier's face with your mech, all that good stuff. That would be the better route here. Yeah, he's still here. He's still doing work. Your backline can't help as much as they'd like because he's still right here. If you push him back, then your Anna can round the corner here. She didn't, but she'd have more ability to round the corner and continue to contribute. Same with your McCree, etc. With where he is, he's scary and he can force them to leave pretty much whenever he wants. You going and pushing him lets your backline into the fight and protects your Winston better, which maybe would have meant your Winston stayed in longer. Now your Winston's having to do it. You don't really have to leave. You can just go take that high ground now with this set of boosters. You're animated. You're getting healed. Good. Good. Some weird matrix usage. Fine. I'm not sure what you think you're matrixing. I'm really not. Still, okay, so you just habitually matrix when you think you should. That's not okay. You have to know what you're matrixing. You're doing a lot of matrixing of Winston. No, that's not really a thing. Like, we can rewind to touch here, but like, okay, you matrixed out a Sigma shot that probably wasn't even going to hit you. Like, this isn't a very good use of Matrix. And neither was your last use, or really the time before that's use of Matrix. So, like, we need to be a little more purposeful with what we're using our Matrix for, when I feel like you just feel like every couple seconds you need to use a tick of Matrix. And that's a bad habit that we got to break instantly, if that's what we're looking at. And then you held that when the Sigma wasn't even looking. Yikes. Not sure who you're going for. You committed micro missiles on this. If you're committing micro missiles on a dive, the expectation is that you know who you're diving. Like, for sure. What's this for? This isn't helping you with the Winston electricity. Was it for the Sigma? Well, the Sigma had like 1 life left. It was definitely going to be faster, and your Winston's full health. Like, there was no need to defense matrix it. You just shoot it. Like, no. Okay, took the high ground. You don't actually need to peek this, but okay. Oh, if your McCree's here, that's not a good thing. Mm-hmm. I mean, you turned your Matrix on when the rock was coming at you. That was weird. You can't DM the rock. I'd prefer that you just close it. They can't stop you from capping anymore. If you take a look here, you can see that they are 4.5 meters, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4 people right here. Yes, I know you can't see these people, but you don't need to continue to peek this. Your team has it under control. You can just close the angle because you trade health unevenly doing this. Like, you trade health unevenly being a distraction here. They're going to do more to you than you're going to do to them. You're a tank, so you can still sort of hold it, etc. But, like, your team isn't fully up here. Your team isn't really ready for this, even though your DPS are a bit pushed up. You've done your job. You can just back up to close the angle, and you're going to get the checkpoint, which is what you want before you push in harder, because you don't have good staggers to pick up here. You agree? You just flick Matrix instinctively sort of a lot there? All good. We want to try and fix it, though, Tomojo. Or Tomjo. This is, again, like, okay, this is more acceptable. At least, you know, there's potentially damage coming this way. I don't like this, though. Like, you're pushing in deep, and I just don't think there's enough to clean up here. You probably think you can get the Winston, which you can.
Double kill.
Yeah, and you're going to lose your mech for that Winston that your team would have been able to get and grind out anyways. Unfortunate. 1 HP. Mech literally had 1 HP. Ah, okay. You didn't lose the mech. Don't spend the micro missiles on that. Just do the normal shots on that. Your micro missiles are a pretty lengthy cooldown, actually, at 8 seconds. So, like, it's okay sometimes to use them in the poke phase, but you don't want to use them just here to destroy a bubble that this bubble isn't really doing a ton for them. There was a Winston on the other side of it. So what? You know, you follow what I'm saying? This isn't worth. Okay. Okay. Positioning was okay. Dropping was okay. You sort of didn't know when where you wanted to go when you boosted out of the flux there, and that's why you didn't make it out. You just wanted to get out ASAP, and then you wanted to finish either back up on the soldier to bother him or back over here. Those were your choices. You couldn't really get back to point, which is where you might have wanted to go for heals, but it must be the lucky back surviving with 1 HP. Must be. Fine.
Get through this. Get through this.
Why are you still holding this? I understand your minimum quarter of defense matrix use because you activated it right when he wraithed, so you're just stuck using a quarter of it, and I don't have a problem with that, but you're actively choosing to continue to hold this defense matrix down. Like, I think you're trying to going, oh, I gotta protect, but, like, protecting isn't good enough. You can't protect from anything that Winston does. This is wrong. Yeah, you spent 2/3 of your matrix when 1/4 would have done the job. You should be pulling out matrix here, though. That was you matrixed too late. You matrixed after he'd already closed the angle and couldn't see you. You're done. Just leave. Literally just leave. Why do you want to 1 or 2v6 the world here? Don't do it. Matrix, like, is okay here, but what's even better than Matrix is just closing the angle and being behind the corner, where you don't have to spend it. You're done. Just shift out. Shift out. Mm-hmm.
Boosters engaged.
Mm-hmm. Kind of slow on the reaction there. Like, you heard him and you looked for him quickly. You turn and look and you see what's going on, but you just are slow to realize, oh, this is a Reaper. Oh, my brig is at half and this Reaper is looking at the back of my brig. You should already have this defense matrix up. It's a little slow, but you get it there. And you then hold it a little long too. Okay. Remember, he's not going to want to instant cancel the Wraith because then he's stuck in there. So you don't need to be like, oh, I'm holding it in case he unwraiths, etc. It's like, no, he's going to want to leave. And even if he doesn't, he's traded Wraith for 1 tick of your DM, which is fine with you. And you get to go, okay, yes, there's going to be a delay before I can DM again, but it's way better than the delay before you can Wraith again. And I've got more DM left, etc. And you'd have then had more DM for this. But you kind of DM'd this early, or maybe you already had DM going when he started it. Too much DM. You already have DM going. For the Sigma? I guess your brig is weak enough to justify it. Okay. And then you're out of DM. Okay. Fine. You don't want to shoot at the bear anymore. Shooting at it was fine when it was Winston. Now you need to turn and look for a better target. Like, breaking barriers is generally good, but there's enough going on over here that shooting at this barrier is not high enough priority for you. You guys have 5 ults. You're relatively in this fight. They threw out an ult. They have that going. You're using rally. Okay. Yeah, you are going to use the self-destruct. Reasonably placed. You wanted to position yourself differently. You see what he's going to want to do there. If you're really on it, you actually are working your way this way so that you can try to boop him out. Because he was always going to try to jump in this direction to get out, and you want to cancel his jump with your boop. Yeah, you walk in closer, which makes it harder to do what you want to do, which is cancel his jump with your own boop. But that's fine. That was better speed on finding the Reaper. Cancel, good. Look for staggers. Reasonable job turning it away. Okay, you took the angle. This is for the storm arrow to protect your... Is that your McCree? No, that's your brig. Why is your brig frontlining so much? That's not your fault. It's just weird. Use a lot of defense matrix to protect your brig, but your brig is positioning poorly a lot. Yeah, it helps. Okay. Okay. Why? This is a Rhine shield. The shots that you can eat don't go through the Rhine shield. You can't eat the Tesla damage. You can't eat the Sigma damage, but the Sigma damage doesn't go through the Rhine shield. Still can't eat the Tesla. Sigma still goes through the Rhine shield. Still can't eat the Tesla. Sigma still goes through the Rhine shield, as does the and you can't eat the Hanzo, but the Hanzo doesn't go through it. Like, you don't need to DM this hard to preserve your Rhine shield. That's just not enough value. There's matchups where it is, but you're literally not protecting your Rhine from anything that his shield won't already block. So this is just wasted. You'd be better off applying direct pressure to the Winston, or trying to go, hey, let me at least apply a little pressure to you, etc. Like, this really is just wasting DM and time, uptime. And then you missed the nade, which was the only thing that mattered. You tried, but you missed the nade. Yep, I get it. I get it. I get it, Tom. Doesn't mean I'm not going to criticize it, but... just to highlight this for you. Maybe we were trying to DM the Rock. Maybe we were trying to DM the Winston Leap, the Tesla. Like, this isn't helping us much. Maybe we were trying to protect our Tracer on the way in, but our Tracer was fine. This is just, like, wasted DM. Yeah, nothing of value was eaten there. And nothing of value should have been expected to be eaten there. That wasn't much better.
You're going to be okay.
Why is the payload soft?
Kind of hanging out in the middle there when you don't need to. Okay, so there are specific things we are looking to eat with our DM, and we're not really doing that right here. So, like, this is the second nade in a row, I believe, that's going to get on you. And do you even know where their Anna is? She's right here. Okay. You're not really close enough to eat a nade meant for your Rhine. You're not protecting your Rhine while he's shattering, which is a time that you want to be DMing over him. And then this nade comes in and we just don't quite get it. Unfortunate, but you did try for it. Good. Fine. Okay. You'll have shift in a moment to protect him. Ice blocked, okay.
The payload's under my protection.
And he got the nano, fine. Boop the Winston away. Like, if the Winston is following, especially if the Nano Winston is following your Anna, you just go shift and boop the Winston away. That's how we use our shifts. Excuse me? Excuse me? That's not how we use our... Oh, we're trying to self-destruct. No, 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 no. We needed more value in canceling and denying the value of that Nano Winston than in going for this. Like, I'm not interested in trading. I want to finish the map. Everyone, I mean, a lot of people wake up slaves. That I'm less worried about. I'm more worried that you didn't push him away when he, was following your Anna through a narrow alley that he didn't have any way to dodge you in, and he clearly didn't have his leap. Like, that was definitely the time to boop him. Nice. Didn't ultimately do anything, but hey, we got the eat. the second time this has happened. I mean, I can kind of tell that your Reinhardt would like to shatter. Maybe you can't, but I can kind of tell that he would like to do that. I would like to be able to DM over him when he's shattering, so that he doesn't get storm arrowed, so that he doesn't get slept and is unable to follow up on his shatter. Like, that is a time that I'm interested in DMing him. And, you know, he goes mighty close to going down here. You can't do it because there's cover between you and him, but you're in general letting your Reinhardt get a lot of space between you and him. And remember, DM isn't this super long thing anymore, so I want you to pay a little bit more attention to enabling him in the matchup.
Routing power to forward shield.
And then we lose our Reinhardt, so we don't really get a follow-up on our shatter. Good. And you even finish in a reasonable place. Nice.
Boosters engaged. Get through this.
I don't really think you surveyed the battlefield at all before that shift, so that's why you didn't know where to go.
Baptiste here.
It's fine. That's fine. Okay. Are you gonna wake up to sleep? No.
거기 꺼져.
Why did we not? I know I'm doing a lot of rewinds here, but like, our Rhine is pinning. This would be a good time to DM him. We would expect him to take damage. People should be shooting at him, right? Like, there's a Sigma there. He's charging into the enemy's sight line. Like, there's an Ana here that we don't know about. There's a Hanzo that we don't know about. Like, the expectation would be that there would be more to come in here. This would be a time to throw our DM out to help protect him.
거기 꺼져.
Didn't end up taking much, but... I'm surprised we didn't commit micro earlier there. Were they not available? Okay, you commit them as soon as they're available. Ouch. Ouch. You went up too much, so you didn't get out in time. You had plenty of time to get out. That hurts.
Get here.
The payload is approaching its destination.
动作不许走。
Good.
30 seconds.
That's fine. Good pressure. You don't even need to chase her down, but okay. But why not? Like, this, if you win, you win. Your team is in this. This is still like a 6v6-ish type scenario going on. Your team is in this, but we're kind of deep into 6v6 territory. We're actually into 6v5 territory where cooldowns have come out. This is the exact right moment to be using a self-destruct. Why is this not a angle right and self-destruct? Hint, it should be. Like, this is like as good as ult usage moments get. Like, they literally do not get better than this in terms of ult timing. Is there something you're worried about denying? No, there's nothing. You just can't. You just denied Blizzard, and there's nothing else big you can deny other than Dragon Strike, which would not be big. Yeah, that should have been a self-destruct. Okay.
Seconds.
Let them up.
But this self-destruct is much later. They've already taken over the fight. It doesn't do any good. Okay.
Is that it?
Okay, so we had missing the self-destruct at the end, but in terms of more than one-time problems, we had some finicky self-defense matrix, or defense matrix, where you just use defense matrix when you sort of expect that there should be something to eat, but, like, don't have a great reason to expect there should. It looks habitual, some of your defense matrix usage, like, oh, I've been in long enough, it's time to defense matrix. No, you defense matrix if there's something to matrix. You don't defense matrix monkeys, you don't defense matrix for your fully healed Rhine when only a Sigma is shooting at him. You don't defense matrix to preserve your Rhine's barrier unless you're playing specific barrier, trade, matchups, etc. So I want you to think about that, probably, that will narrow in. And I also want you to be a little more aware of using your shift for its boop potential there, in terms of like that soldier at the beginning, booping away the Winston when he was chasing you, and a couple other scenarios where I want you to be a little more cognizant of, hey, my boop is part of the peel. Peel to stop something from chasing, and peel to move someone off of a sight line that is threatening to my team, like that soldier. But again, we'll keep going. We'll see what else we see. It may be that the self-destructs become a bigger, more important thing to deal with. It may be something else jumps to the top. It may get more specific with the matrix usage. It's going to depend on how round 2 goes here.
One. Attackers incoming. Stop the payload.
Defense matrix activated.
You denied it, and that's cool, but now you're done. You're done. You're not getting help. You can't stay here. You don't actually want to get that low. When you get that low, you're forcing yourself to leave, whereas if you... Here, we'll go back and show you. This diva right here, before you took that hit and you had 300 health, let's go back. Just the tick. This diva right here, if she goes for line of sight, goes, breaks cover, etc. Let's wait until she gets the Mercy up. This diva is extremely annoying. If this diva waits right here, this Ana and Mercy are not allowed to forget about this diva, and it constantly has to occupy a space in their mind, because this diva still has enough health, enough resources to be annoying, to potentially come in here, get an elimination, to deny us stuff, to stand here and eat a nade that we planned on throwing, to throw matrix in the way of heals, etc. This diva is annoying. This diva is annoying and cannot be forgotten about, occupies a space, lives rent-free, maybe pays rent, in their head, right? This diva does not. This diva is helpless and has to leave. And everyone knows this diva has to leave. You see how that works? Like, we don't want to compromise our health like that if we're not really enabling our team to get an elimination. A little bit of distraction, a little bit of holding space is fine, but like, you actually would have been more annoying by chilling back here and literally doing nothing for 3 seconds or trying to give your supports line of sight on you for a couple seconds than you did by going, I'm going to do this. Like, you don't trade health favorably in these poke battles, and you probably noticed that right there. Like, yes, you got the Ana to half, but she also got you to half. Half for her is 100 health, meaning you did 100 damage to her. Half for you is 300 health, meaning their team did 300 damage to you. They traded better on ult charges. Now, it can still be worth it because, hey, you're zoning the Ana at a key time, you're distracting her, you're holding key space for your team, etc. But that was the first time. That was much less true the second time. You got to understand, if you're trading health like that, even if it looks even, which it's not, it's only worth it if it's at a time that is meaningful to your team. If it does something of value for your team, distracts them when heals need to be going out, or is holding key space for your team that allows your DPS to do stuff, etc. That second time, that just simply was not the case. And you then compromised yourself so you are no longer a threat. Okay.
I need healing. Need healing.
This is fine. It's unfortunate.
Routing current forward barrier. Ejecting.
Yeah. I don't really like it. I like this. but I know where your supports are, and I can't guarantee that you're going to get the health pack before the Sombra. I can't even guarantee that the health pack isn't hacked. And because I can't guarantee those things, I am not willing to follow the Sombra further than this. I either cancel this shift, or I turn around and leave. I've already done my job on this Sombra, but I need to, no, I have to turn around actually, because I need to be in a place where my BAP and my Ana can see me if I'm going to continue to fight this Sombra. I have to. I simply can't do this because I can't guarantee that this isn't hacked, and I can't guarantee that I can get it before the Sombra. And in that situation, I'm feeding my mech by chasing this. Yep.
Routing tower forward area. Ejecting.
Okay, so this defense has been literally not understanding when you need to respect your support's line of sight, when you can't. You know, both fights on first point, quote unquote, were about understanding, hey, I have to do this when and where it's helpful. Like driving out the Sombra was plenty helpful, but you drove the Sombra out far enough. She wasn't doing anything more. You could leave. You didn't need to commit to that fight. Distracting that Ana for the first moment, that was totally fine. Your team didn't take advantage of it, but there was a reasonable belief that they could. The second time, no, there was nothing to do. See if you look back, check on your team, see if they can support you. If they can't, go back and join them. If they can, you get healed a little, and then you go back to distracting the Ana. And you'd have seen that they couldn't, and you'd have just left, which would have been preferable. Is your team ready? Like, how's your team positioning wise? Not even close. Getting closer. Where is your Reinhardt? Back here. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. You just have to leave. Nope. Nope. Okay, I'm surprised we didn't grab the mini yet, but okay. Ryan should be back in a moment. You're enforcing this, that's good. You're gonna deny it. Beautiful. But now you need to keep denying, because like you still did get your team still did get EMP'd, so you need to deny here pretty hard. That's unfortunate. Control the lane. Good effort. I'm not too worried about that. You actually played the second point much better. The biggest issue there was they had a bunch of ults from first point. You guys did have some meaningful ults in Nanoblade, but their Nanoblade got crushed by the Flux, which, you know, that not much you can do about that. You're early, you're early, you're early. No, no. We don't want this trade unless it's helpful to our team. Like, again, we can occupy here, and we can fight them a little, but they're going to take more health from us than we are from them, especially at this range when we're fighting a Mercy, a Hanzo, and a Sigma. Like, those are better heroes at this range than we are. So, like, the only reason we want to be up here is if it's really enabling our team to do something. Not really. Like, all that's going on our team is, you know, this was barely here. We weren't ready for this yet. Now they're more ready for this. Now it's great, but you don't have micro anymore. Do you have any idea where the Sombra is, or are you just ignoring her? Okay. Okay. Do you know where your McCree is? Interesting. He's got a power circle. Cool. I mean, it's probably a BAP nade, but it's just funny looking. So you see the purple there, so I hope the Matrix, yeah, the Matrix didn't come out on time. You try, doesn't happen. You see that your Orisa is hacked and in trouble. You can't protect her from the Rhine swings. That's fine. But is there anything that you can protect her from? Potentially. So that's fine. I'm not worried yet. I would potentially expect now that the Sigma's looking at her for you to Matrix. Preserving her life is more important. Still no Matrix? Like the Sigma's clearly shooting at her, the Hanzo's storm arrowing shooting at her. I expected the Matrix by now. And she goes down, and yes, the Reinhardt got it, but there was some help there.
Nerf this.
The payload is approaching its double.
Okay. It's a cute tech to push the D.Va mech off, don't get me wrong, but that was just an extremely obvious and undelayed push off. I'm a little surprised he got two, but hey, good stuff. Good job. That was a good Ana push, even if you didn't get it. Again, it was the right timing to quality, distract, actually zone her out so that your team can find finishes, etc., because your team was in the fight. You could have used a tick. Oh, you didn't use a tick and they got your BAP? Was that right next to you? Where was that? It was. That's disappointing. I'm actually surprised that that didn't get a tick of Matrix. Like, that's a Hanzo. It just pops Storm Arrow, and you hear the sound effect, and you see the blue effect. Like, this is... Of course the shots are coming at you. I know you might be thinking, hey, it doesn't matter if I take a shot or two, but a tick of Matrix for this is nothing. You have full Matrix. They're far enough away. It's worth. This is the thing that you use Matrix against Hanzo, unless you're specifically going, I need to hold my Matrix for something else, to deny grav, etc. But they'd never throw a grav at this distance, and they don't have Zarya, nor do they have a Mei. There's nothing you're worried about them throwing that you wouldn't have Matrix for. So this should have been Matrixed. And that would have saved your BAP's life. Slow in the hack reaction, but that's life. Play from the angle. No micro? Okay. You have to drop. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to adjust our priority list a little bit. What I want you to do the better job of understanding is this isn't like terrible. You did a decent job, especially on last point here, of understanding when you need to be that quality distraction for your team as opposed to when you're just feeding. But on a bit of the third point of attack and mostly on your first point of defense, a little bit on second, but mostly on first point of defense, that was bad. For both fights, 2 in a row on first point in defense, you need to understand, hey, this is too far. This isn't helping my team anymore. I don't need to eliminate the Sombra. I just need to force her away, and I can't push in like this. I can't push in because it's not useful anymore. And even if I trade 80% of her life for 80% of my life, that's a terrible trade. Like, you need to be more conscious of that. Same thing on first when dealing with that, Ana. So it's got to be more consciousness of, hey, when I'm trading health evenly, I'm actually losing a fair bit, so we've got to be getting something out of it. And positioning is a totally fine thing to be getting out of it, but the positioning's got to be at a time when your team is in the fight, can contribute, can use it, etc. So I want more awareness of that. That is going to be the biggest thing that we'll say. The next thing that we're going to get into is you do have some funky defense matrix usage. You didn't defense matrix out the sonic arrow there. You didn't defense matrix out some other thing, whereas you were defense matrixing a Reinhardt shield. You were defense matrixing just for Reinhardt swings or just for Winston zaps, etc. Like, you got to be aware of what you can and can't defense matrix, and it can't sort of be a damage means right click, because no, damage does not mean right click with D.Va. Defense matrix is specifically for, hey, there are things I can block, or this person desperately needs protection, and what I can provide them. Sometimes if someone absolutely desperately needs protection, yes, you'll matrix them, but you still need to be a little more conscious. Like, yes, your Reinhardt was in a lot of trouble, but your matrix just doesn't help, etc. So again, we're going to clean up that defense matrix use, go, hey, there's things I do. Like I see a storm arrow, I probably want to throw out my defense matrix. I'm looking specifically for nades, so that's something I'm actively looking for to eat because you didn't have that many nade eats. You did a good job of denying the blizzards. That was good. You did a good job in denying the blizzards. You got a dragon strike. Like I'm happy with that stuff with some of the ult cancel stuff, so you're doing a good job of watching for the ults. Now let's scale it down and watch a little more for the nades, watch a little more for the storm arrow. Really be thinking, okay, in each matchup, what am I trying to deny, et cetera, et cetera? Because if you think of it as a in each matchup, what am I trying to deny? Then when you start seeing, oh, this Hanzo is shooting at my Reinhardt, or this Hanzo is shooting at my, Anna, or whatever, et cetera, you'll be a little conscious of, oh right, Hanzo, I can eat everything. Oh, it's Storm Arrow. It's more likely that I want to be matrixing, etc. As opposed to, oh, my Anna is taking damage, so I better matrix. No, the proper peel for Anna against Winston is to boop him away, not to defense matrix. The proper peel for Reinhardt against Reinhardt is to boop Reinhardt away, not defense matrix your Reinhardt, etc. Things like that are gonna mostly help you out. So I hope that makes sense. It should. I mean, your defense matrix can be hard to fix, but if you think of it as the individual matchups with the heroes, it'll then sort of combine nicely into what you need to do in a group sense. And you're already doing a good job for this level with the ults that you caught there. So that was nice. And then we talked about understanding, that's a little more ethereal of a topic, but understanding when it's worth to challenge and to hold space and when you need to go, nope, not worth, time for me to get out. I want to continue to be a threat as opposed to losing my mech, going down to 100 health, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. If anyone has questions, go ahead and let me know in chat. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that really does help me out, grows the channel, lets me do more of this. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, see what rates look like, all that good stuff. How do I deal with the visual clutter? I have problems seeing stuff at times. It's a little tough. You just have to sort of handle it one thing at a time. Like Overwatch has gotten more and more visual clutter, and the frame rates have gotten worse as time has gone on. And unfortunately, there is no great secret to that. It really is just going, okay, I've got to be thinking about this one thing at a time. Like, yes, seeing through Winston Tesla plus Coalescence plus, fluxes going on plus, etc. It's a mess. But if you're really going, hey, I'm thinking about Hanzo, I'm thinking about Storm Arrow, hey, I'm thinking about the Sombra, hey, I'm thinking about Annonades. If you're thinking about Annonades and Storm Arrows, you're going to be much more likely to find them than if you're just kind of going, oh yeah, we're playing the game, and oh, that's an Annonade, etc. If you're thinking about, no, I'm thinking about the Annonade, that's occupying 3% of my brain space. I'm thinking about the Storm Arrow, that's occupying 2% of my brain space, or a little more than that. If ults aren't available, that's going to let you do a better job. Sorry, there is no secret to be like, oh, here's the setting to turn down visual clutter, etc. Blizzard just added more visual clutter to the game, and you just have to think one thing at a time, and then you can build up to being able to handle all of it going on. The game feels like it slows down. The game feels like less is happening when you understand more, when you start thinking about it one at a time and then add back in the blocks, etc. Okay, it looks like that's what we've got here, so I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. Thanks, guys. Temporal out.